Hey guys, welcome back to the Project Nourish podcast. We are your host. I'm Megan Gump, a functional medicine practitioner and nutritional therapy practitioner as well.
And I'm Casey Poe Campbell, also a nutritional therapy practitioner and licensed esthetician. We're here to bring you a podcast all about health, wellness, holistic nutrition, functional medicine, and non-toxic living. Now, if you have any health or skincare concerns, you can work one-on-one with either one of us. To learn more about working with me, Casey, you can go over to my website, caseypoe.com. Over there, I have a skincare consultation form that you can fill out, and I will send you some detailed recommendations, both nutrition, lifestyle, and skincare products that will make your skin glow. You can also find me on Instagram over at Real Talk Casey.
Yep, and you guys can find me, Megan, over on my website, megangump.com. And over on my website, you can actually book a free 15-minute consultation with me where I work with clients one-on-one from all over the world. So we can work together via phone call or Skype, however we need to chat. And I run various functional medicine panels, the lab test. So I do stool testing and I do urine and I also do saliva and blood work if we need to. And just to look into your root cause factors of what's going on. So digestive issues, hormonal imbalances, anxiety, depression, mood disorders, anything that you've got going on that you really just want to dive in and get to the root cause of what's going on, book that free 15-minute call with me and we can discuss that stuff. And then I can also answer any questions that you have about the process as well. But it's pretty cool to dive into the functional lab testing and get some hard facts on paper. It's definitely been a game changer for me and for so many other people. So go to my website to check that out and learn more about me over there. And then you can also follow me on Instagram at megan.gump.
Now, as a disclaimer, topics discussed and recommendations given in this podcast are not to treat or cure any disease. We as NTPs want to discover and address your underlying health symptoms using nutritional therapy and functional medicine. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Casey. You know, it's a beautiful day here in Houston, Texas. Just trying to get out in the sunshine as much as I can, so not too much to complain about. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's finally starting to get warm here in Denver. I think we're going to be in the 70s this week, so super excited about that. But even more exciting, like speaking of the weather, I'm actually headed to Phoenix on Thursday, so tomorrow from when this episode comes out, and I'm going to be there for the Beauty Counter Leadership Summit, so I am ridiculously excited about that. One other girl is joining me who is actually on the podcast, Vicki Richards over at Restoring Roots, yeah, that's her Instagram handle. But yeah, Vicki is going to be joining me. And so we have so many fun events planned. And then we just get to learn about all kinds of fun things, Beauty Counter related. And then we're also going to do a fun hike. It's up this mountain called Camelback Mountain, which is apparently the highest mountain in Phoenix. And it is just like a super hard hike. So we're going to wake up stupid early one morning, do a little sunrise hike. Our adrenals are going to hate us, but the Instagram picture is going to be really cool. So totally worth it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be exciting to do a new hike somewhere cool that you've never been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And I cannot wait to hear about all the nuggets from the Beauty Counter conference. That's going to be so fun. And it's always so inspiring and it's so refreshing to go to those. So I'm sad I won't be there, but it'll be nice to get that little refresher from them. Conferences are always so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that they have like all kinds of just really cool things planned. We'll get some top secret products that are not out yet. Which
that'll be really cool.
Super stoked about. Yeah, my little esthetician heart.
Yeah,
doing some backflips. And then also some fun things going on. I've been on a couple of podcasts recently. So I was on the 127 Fitness podcast. Really cool story. The dude who is the host of that, Quentin, is a physical education teacher. And so he started the podcast just because he wanted to, you know, like get out and meet people and just educate people. But he does all of his in person. So the dude is just like driving all over the state of Colorado. So I just happened to be in Colorado Springs where he lives, visiting my parents. So I was on that show. And then I was also on the Everyday Competitors podcast, which is a part of a bigger podcast called Compete Every Day with Jake Thompson, who is the creator of this really cool company called Compete Every Day, where I talked all about confidence just in the food choices that you make, as well as the skincare that you're using. So really cool to be kind of on the other side of the microphone for both of those experiences.
That's awesome. I think that's so cool that he does all of his podcasts in person, the 127 dude.
Yeah, right?
How cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mentioned, I was like, oh yeah, you should be on our podcast. And he was like, yeah, I can come up. And I'm like, oh no, dude, we do everything virtually. Like Megan lives in Houston. There's no way it would work if we tried to do it in person.
Well, hey, I mean, you guys could be together and then we could just, tag me in on Skype here or Zoom.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It was super fun. And he also gave me a t-shirt. We need to up our game for our guests.
That t-shirt game, maybe we can just do like keychains or something.
Yeah, right. Or like a sticker.
A sticker. I love it.
So how's everything going in your world? Any new exciting updates?
Everything's going really good. So we're just slowly but surely trucking through on this mold thing. Mm-hmm. And we are fogging out the house every single weekend. We've now done it 3 times. So we've got 2 more fogs, so 2 more weeks of it, and then we're going to retest our house to see where our levels are at. So I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, you should hear my house right now. We've got a dehumidifier system going. We've got 2 air purifiers going. And this is our new life. I mean, our our air does feel really clean in here.
Okay.
So that is really cool. And I do slowly but surely feel better. And it's so interesting to me because it's like, the winter just passed and spring is slowly but surely upon us. The sun is coming out. The flowers are blooming. The birds are chirping. Animals are having babies. And it's just so funny to me that I finally feel like I'm coming out of my rut from really not feeling good to I'm finally starting to feel better with this season change. I don't know, I guess it's really hard to put into words because it's just, there's so much energy behind that in terms of like me just really not feeling good for the last couple of months. And now that the season's changing and just the quality of, I think, everything outside is improving and I feel like I'm improving too. Mm-hmm. So it's nice because as I'm going through this healing process, like I've definitely been waking up and spending, 2 to 5 to maybe 10 minutes in the sun first thing in the morning when I wake up. As soon as that sun starts to show at like 7 or 7:30, I'm outside. And also just all throughout the day. I mean, if I've got a break from my calls when I'm working all day, I will go stand outside. During lunch, I'm sitting outside eating my lunch. So just getting outside as much as I can too makes me feel better. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted. I've been on a crazy protocol for the last couple of weeks in terms of mold and candida and everything else. So just taking a crap ton of supplements that I am so over right now, but I know it's going to be totally worth it. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going on with me, but it's nice because I'm starting to see the end of the tunnel. I'm starting to feel better, which is really, really refreshing.
Yay. I'm so glad to hear that you are starting to feel better.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you guys, I'll have to apologize about this episode today. So Casey and I had a recording with the 2 sisters that you guys are going to listen to. And it was on our calendar. We had talked about it the day before. And with all of the stuff that was going on with the mold, I mean, one of the big symptoms with mold is brain fog, focus, concentration issues. It really just affects your cognitive your brain
function, cognitive function.
Yeah, cognitive function. Thank you. So that's also another thing is just putting words together is still a little fuzzy. It'll probably be that way for a while. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to feel better, in a month or next whatever, but it'll take time, but I'm starting to get there. So Yeah, guys, super scary. I had finished work for the day and we were supposed to record in 30 minutes. And I had a really stressful day where I was just super overwhelmed. I mean, pretty much like in tears. And I went on a walk and I thought that it would be beneficial for me to leave my phone, go get out in the sunshine, just take a breather. And I'm not even kidding you when I say that I just completely forgot about our podcast. I mean, I was crying. I was so upset when I got back and I saw the reminder on my phone because, you know, I was really upset because I left Casey hanging on her own, and I know I put her in a weird spot where it's like, where's Megan? Like, we're supposed to be hopping on to record. But also, I think that was one day where I really realized that I had hit rock bottom and I was having a lot of like brain issues, because that was my first sign about 8 or 9 months ago, as I started having cognitive issues. And that day, I mean, it was like I forgot, like my mind just went blank. Like I forgot my schedule, what I had to do. It's pretty serious. So that's one day that like I really broke down and I was like, holy shit, like this is how mold is affecting my brain and it's really causing a big issue. So it was really scary. It was really scary. But yeah, so that was a shocker for me, and we've been really cleaning up our home. I've been cleaning up myself internally. We've been addressing the pets. We've been addressing our laundry. We've been addressing cleaning the house and everything that we're doing beyond fogging, which I need to do a show for you guys to talk about it because it's all in and of itself. But I just wanted to bring this up because I think a lot of people are struggling with health issues and concerns, and they don't know what's at the root cause of that. And maybe you're also someone that has really been at it for a long time. Like you've got your diet dialed in, you get movement, like you're making sure you go to bed on time and you're not on your phone before you go to bed. And all of these things that you're doing right, but it's like there's still something seriously wrong with me and I don't know what it is. Well, at the bottom of that for me, it was mold. And we tested our home and we found crazy high levels of candida. We found crazy high levels of some aspergillus, penicillium, some other stuff was in there. There was no black mold, so like no stachybotrys. I can't even say that word 100% correctly, but if you know it, you'll know I said it slightly correct. So, but yeah, so if you're struggling with this stuff, guys, reach out. I've got a ton of resources that I can point you in the right direction to help you get tested, test your home, test yourself. And then obviously working with the practitioner that I work for, Evan Brand, of course. And if you follow him, you'll see a ton of stuff that he's got on mold right now. But even just the protocols that we've learned together going through this experience in the last couple of months, you know, it's really helping me. And so there is a way to help you with your mold issues and maybe this underlying ghost that's a problem. And we also have another cool episode that'll be released pretty soon with Cassie Eason, who is our lead instructor for the NTA program that Casey and I went through. And Kathy talks about her mold journey. So you guys be on the lookout for that episode because it'll be coming out pretty soon. And we really get into mold on that one too.
Yeah, and we just thought that it was so important for, you know, Megan to share about, you know, kind of her experience and the cognitive function issues and that kind of thing, just in case you guys are experiencing some of this. So Megan, thank you for your transparency and for sharing that with our listeners.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
All right, so I interviewed Fit and Fueled Performance, which was created by sisters Andrea and Jenny Orona. Andrea has been a teacher for the last 18 years in the Monte City School District and currently teaches math and PE. Jenny has been a nurse for the last 9 years and is currently in a step-down ICU at Huntington Hospital. While dedicating much of their lives in the helping professions, they understand the need to also take care of themselves personally, as their jobs are both physically and mentally demanding. For them to perform at high levels within their jobs, they have been working on their fitness with everything from at-home workouts like P90X and Insanity, globo gym classes, and personal trainers to spending several years in a CrossFit box. Because they're both in helping professions, it was a natural progression to want to help others improve their health and quality of life. In 2015, both received their L1 CrossFit training certificate and have been training individuals individual and group classes since. Andrea also became a certified nutritional therapy practitioner in 2017, as well as a certified Restart instructor to help her clients incorporate healthy eating practices in order to complement a healthy lifestyle. So on the podcast, we talked about a free trial for you guys, and they have gotten everything all set up. So if you guys use the code Project Nourish at checkout, you can get 1 month of their programming for free. And then you can also get a free ebook that has 10 body weight workouts that you can do anywhere. You just will go to their website, fitandfueledperformance.com, and we'll have all of this linked up in the show notes. So really awesome episode. These girls have a ton of knowledge to share, and I cannot wait to try some of their body weight workouts because I have a feeling they're going to be like super butt kicking. Welcome to the show, my friends. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Awesome. All right. So first question, what are you guys doing to nourish yourselves right now?
I'm starting with you go. Okay. Can I do 2 things?
Of course.
I always have to be extra. So
Oh, and this is Andrea for
yes.
our listeners. Yes.
Actually, I just started using Paleo Valley's grass-fed Oregon, what's it called? Oregon complex, because I just, for the life of me, cannot get myself to eat liver. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's so good for me, and I tell people to eat it, but I just can't do it. So I started using theirs, and I really like it. So I'm 30 days in, and I feel better. I really like the energy levels that I'm having. So there's that. And mentally, nourishing myself. I just started journaling again. I used to get up early and do gratitude journaling and all that. And while I advocate for that, but the life of an entrepreneur / teacher / everything, I just need that extra hour of sleep. So I started journaling at night before I go to bed. And it's been a really nice way for me to kind of like wind down and just be grateful for the day. I always write about something great that happened and then something that I can improve on, because I always want to be better.
I love it. I use the 5-minute journal. Have you ever heard of that one?
It's basically the same, except I didn't like how small the lines are because I have to write a lot. I just have a little cute spiral from Target.
I love it. Yeah, my 5-minute journal, because the lines are small, especially if you have bigger handwriting. So mine goes just like all over the page. I'm part rebel, so I don't care if it stays within the line. It just goes like all over.
I'm an upholder, so no, I have to stay on the line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, big difference. Mine would mortify you then, because I have stuff everywhere.
Yeah, she's the rebel.
Oh, okay. I love it.
What's his name, by the way? Yes.
And I had one other question about the liver. Oh, so you said you're feeling better. What differences are you noticing?
So, and we'll talk obviously later, we're running a fitness business. So just in my workouts, I have a lot of energy. And I'm sure we'll get more into it, but we do test every workout that we put out. And right now, because somebody is pregnant, I have to do all the workouts. And I've just been feeling a lot better. I mean, she could tell you too, because I have to, we share all the results so that we can program efficiently and effectively. Just felt a lot more, I don't know. I mean, like I've improved a lot, right? I mean, even.
Yeah. And because we're programming for, the average person. And so when she gives me her results, I'm like, I don't think this is, I think you did above and beyond what our clients would do. So, and then sometimes she does like 2 a days. She'll do 2 of the workouts in one day. And I'm like, wow, but she's rocking it. So
Yeah. So one, I guess that's a testament to our programming. It's definitely effective. And I think just trying to take care of myself, and one, just getting in those extra B vitamins is really helpful for me personally. I mean, I'm super stressed. I mean, I try to take care of myself, but so energy in the gym for me.
I love it. Hashtag powered by liver.
Yes. Liver, heart, and kidney.
Oh, okay. So I used to get this mix of, it was called primal beef. And so it was a mix of, I think it was 80% ground beef and then 20% organ meats.
Okay.
And you would cook it just like normal ground beef, but you could not tell that there were organ meats in there, which was awesome.
Yeah. Maybe
Because I tried a liver smoothie shot once where you've like froze liver. It was so disgusting. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like you want to cut your tongue out. It's so bad.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. But you had so much energy, but it was not worth the taste where you're like cried. It tastes so bad.
Yeah, for sure. So these are just capsules and it's freeze dried. So, and there's
Oh, awesome.
ingredients inside of them. So because I'm extra, I bought a 6-month supply. So
Oh, good.
well, it's cheaper also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Price is 6 of them, 6 bottles.
Love it.
Well, I should give it a good go. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with some of those supplements, you have to. I mean, yeah. All right, Jenny, what are you doing to nourish yourself right now?
Well, I had to change my mindset a lot, going from being pretty as active as Andrea is to sort of scaling that back a lot because I'm pregnant. That was kind of rough, and it's still kind of hard for me to have to put that on the back burner as far as fitness. So for me, it was more like slowing down, being really intentional with the movement I was doing. When I do work out, I can't go balls to the wall anymore.
Red line.
Yeah, I can't red line it anymore. So it's more about just feeling good about moving in general and spending that time. And sometimes it's a workout and sometimes it's a long walk with my dog. So yeah, that took a while to get used to, but I'm actually enjoying it. And sometimes I'll listen to podcasts or music when I take a walk, just, to just kind of get out and get some vitamin D. Because if I'm working, I'm in the hospital for 12 and a half hours. And there's not really any windows. And
It's a lot of artificial light.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's good to get outside. I think I've spent more time outside than I have in a long time. And then as far as like nutrition and stuff, it is hard being pregnant because there's the cravings for sweets, which I allow myself. But I also I tried to like do my research with like prenatal vitamins. Because I don't know if you've ever noticed like when you take vitamins that you just buy at the store, like your urine is like super yellow after you take them. I hated that because I just felt like I just dumped my money.
My pee is so expensive right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I did some research, and actually the vitamin that I was on actually it can be used as like a prenatal. They wouldn't ever advertise it that way, but it is safe to use. So I used doTERRA's Vitality Pack.
Okay.
For my prenatal, and it did, I think, wonders for me as far as the first trimester. Like I was not sick at all. I threw up like twice, but it wasn't bad. And yeah, like I've had a really easy and fun pregnancy, and I think a lot of that has to do with just taking care of myself and those vitamins, and just coming in being fit. Yeah. So.
Yeah, kind of like the pre-work that you did before you got pregnant, that it's paying off.
Totally.
Now. What else was I going to ask you? Oh, how far along are you? And when are you due?
I am due April 20th, so I am 32 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming up.
It is coming up.
Now, is it your first one?
First one. We don't know what it is. We're not going to find out.
Okay.
So we're super excited.
Andrea's giving the thumbs down.
Like,
she wants to know everything, though.
I do want to know everything. Well, I want to prepare. Like, I can't even, if I see like a cute outfit, I'm like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. Such an upholder thing right there.
Oh man, I'm outnumbered here.
All right. Well, I guess we should kind of give our listeners, we read your intro or we read your bios during the intro, but tell us a little bit more about how you guys came to be.
Well, so it's kind of a long, I think, journey,
Yeah.
but we'll try to piece it together. So I think for both of us, just we grew up in a home where fitness was
The thing.
it was always a thing. Like I totally remember my mom working out. I remember she had these weird, do you remember this? She had these weird
Bands?
yeah, that you would like attach to the door.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
And like, and I just remember being like really little, like sticking my feet in there and like just being weird. But I remember her doing that and like doing videos, you know, I'm sure like Jane Fonda and like, there's this one dude, I don't remember his name, but anyways, so I remember her doing that. And then my dad always had like at home, like an at-home fitness, what are those big things called? Like those multi-function.
Not like a Bowflex, but like the, you know, the big.
Oh, that's, I was thinking of the Bowflex with like the Chuck Norris commercials.
Either way, I mean,
I was sitting in our living room.
yeah, I was normal, like, oh yeah, that's in the den. That's what you do. Yeah, so I think we just kind of grew up with, our parents were interested in, I think, in fitness. So that just kind of got passed on. And once I hit like my 20s, I started running, you know, because that's just what, I don't know, you know, it's like, what do you do, right? So I ran, and that just, you can only run so long before you start having injuries, and it gets boring. I mean, unless you're just a real fanatic for running. So that moved on to like globo gyms and trainers. We did like P90X, Insanity.
You did a boot camp for a little bit.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I'd go at 5 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, I was younger then. Yeah, and then we found CrossFit and loved that. So there's just always been a thread of just, you know, fitness and wellness. And then we took it out on our own. After that, after we left CrossFit, we decided to get our L1 certificates. And so I also got my kids trainers because I'm a teacher. And so I do some of that, you know, with my PE classes. And then we almost bought a gym because we really, you know, she's a nurse and I'm a teacher. So we're in the helping profession. You know, this is our life's work is to help others. And since we had a passion for health and fitness, you know, we really wanted to move towards that. That didn't pan out. And so here at my work, I started doing restart classes. So, and that was incredibly successful. I'm still doing them. I just finished one Saturday. And then I started, and both of us actually started doing classes here. So after school, we'd have the teachers come and we'd work them out. And that was really successful. And so what happened was it was going to be the end of the school year, and a teacher emailed me and said, hey, can you just, can you give me some workouts to do over the summer? And I was like, oh, okay. And we kind of sat down and we're like, what if we did online programming, you know, where people would work out at home? They don't need anything fancy. They don't need, you know, you really don't need a whole lot to be just normally fit. You know, I'm not talking competitive type fitness. And yeah, we just kind of grew from there. We did it for free for like 3 months, I think.
A little longer, I think.
Yeah, maybe longer. Where we were just putting out workouts, and
It was like workouts Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
3 times. The only requirement was like, you just need like a jump rope, maybe a pair or two of dumbbells, and maybe a box to step up onto, and we got the rest for you. And yeah, we built a nice little community there. And then we thought, well, let's get paid.
Yeah.
So let's see if we could do this. So we're about 3 months in now to our paid subscription.
Very cool. Now, tell me a little bit more about your philosophy on fitness and nutrition.
Okay, so we'll start with fitness.
We absolutely 100% believe that fitness is for everybody, and it needs to be made accessible for everybody. regardless of how old you are, what illness you might have, any ailments, whatever it is, like you can still be fit and get fit. And you can do that at home. You don't have to go to a Globo gym. You don't have to pay inordinate amounts of money to do that. Fitness is actually really simple. So I think our goal was to make it accessible to just the average person. And while doing that, keeping it fun and engaging and safe. So
fun is super important to me. I mean,
yes,
even as an upholder. Of course, upholders, we love routine and doing the same thing, but I just don't think that's conducive to making that long term. I don't want to do the same thing for 6 weeks over and over, so variety. Yeah.
So, we really just feel like, I think there's like people think that there's a prereq for getting fit. And everybody that I talk to that like is interested in our program, I have a lot of my coworkers that talk to me about it, and a few have signed up with our online paid programming. But they always ask me, like, is there anything I can do before I start? And I always have to tell them, like, no, like this is where you start. Like, it's okay. Wherever you're at, like we can meet you there and we can get you moving. And that's the most important part, is like setting time aside in your day to dedicate to moving. And like just the feeling you have after, I don't think people realize like how great you feel after and how accomplished you feel. For an upholder, it's like a checkbox. Yep. It feels good to get it done and you feel like you achieved something. And so another part of our programming is to make it like timely. So we're not spending an hour doing it. Most of our workouts are anywhere from 5 minutes to like 20 to 25. Sometimes we have like a 30-minute workout, but that's about as long as we get. And you're not moving the entire time either. So yeah, it's just really, we just wanted to like bring it back down to earth, because I think that there's a lot of fitness programs out there that are like, just you feel like you can't do it. Like you're not at that level to do those things. So we wanted to make it accessible for everybody.
I think something that you said, which is so important, where you said you meet people where they're at or where they are. And I think that so many people just, when they're starting a new nutrition program or starting a new fitness program, they're so intimidated. And like you said, where they're like, okay, so what do I need to do to get ready? It's like, no, this is the first step. And you guys are amazing at doing this and you're fine. Like just start there. And it doesn't have to be, where you're spending 3 hours a day in the gym or doing whatever, like only eating kale. I mean, not that we would ever tell people to do that, but I think that that's what people, when they get started with something new, think that they need to do. And of course, it's not sustainable.
No, I think you hit that pretty good. I mean, I did think of something, I don't remember now. I had something, now I forgot. I'll come back.
You'll remember it.
What was the last thing you said?
I don't know, make it accessible.
Oh, yes, actually, thank you. So, so there's a lot of people who are intimidated, and even as I've shared that, as I'm doing all these workouts, we actually help you progress through it. So we have 3 levels. So there's like a beginning, an intermediate, and an advanced. So that's how we can kind of help people who are feeling like, I just don't think that I'm fit enough, to start. Like, no, actually you would start with the beginner. And then as you see yourself progressing, you can move up to that next level. So while everyone is doing the main workout, there's variations depending on your capacity, and that even fluctuates, let's say with me. So, maybe I can do the advanced some days, and then other days I'm like, I'm tired and I'm not feeling well, like currently I'm not feeling great. And yesterday I just scaled it back and I was like, I'm just going to do the beginner one. And there's nothing wrong with that, so even within your own capacities, you might just scale back for, you're not feeling well. Right now she's pregnant, so she can do it at a very low level. So we've tried to work that in where not only when we meet you where you're at, but we want to take you to the next level as well. Because you will find, as I have, like, in fact, our goal was when we started that I was going to always test the middle level.
Okay.
And from there, we would increase, the intensity for the advanced group, and then we would bring it down for the low as well. I started feeling like, I think I'm doing the advanced one now all the time, and so it was actually really neat to see that,
Mm-hmm.
it's really working and it's really effective. And yeah, I graduated.
Yay!
Yeah.
With your certificate.
Thank you. Yes. Just like level up. Yeah, but
Now, also, another important piece of all of this that you guys also want to focus on is the nutrition piece of it. So what's your philosophy with the nutrition piece of it?
so I'm an NTP, as you guys are, and probably a lot of your listeners. So I come from, a very holistic perspective, right? So number one, like whole unadulterated foods. I want to push real food on people.
Except liver.
Yes. No, I eat it. But I have to say, having had really good results, like now I have an option to tell people, like, okay, if you can't stomach it like me, here's an option, right? So, I'm always testing on myself. No, but yeah, definitely, like, number one, I think is just getting people away from processed foods, getting people in the kitchen, getting people to understand that food is medicine, and that, gosh, you can fix so many things by just changing, what you're eating, and like, forget about how much right now. Like, if I can just get wholesome food into your body, that will regulate itself, and I could probably solve 80% of your problems,
Mm-hmm.
not all of them. So that's, number one. I think too, a huge part of our program, which you'll recognize, is that everybody's bio-individual. And so just because a certain set of, if you want to call them macros or whatever, a way of eating works for me, does not mean it's going to work even for her, and we're sisters, right? And so understanding people as a whole, even as they come in for the fitness as well, that not everybody is going to respond in the same way. So I think giving people the respect that they come in as unique individuals, and that, yes, we want to push real food, but then also understand that, different people are going to require, a different variation of that food. So, yeah, that's the simplest way I could nerd out on nutrition. save that.
Now, why did you guys want to focus on both fitness and nutrition?
I think that, well, for us, they're not, like mutually exclusive. They're very intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
And like something that we learned early on was that you can't out-train a bad diet. So yeah, just knowing that if you're going to do the fitness thing and you want to do it long term and not get injured, an important part is nutrition. And even if you take away the fitness part, the first and foremost thing is nutrition.
And I think that was actually another kind of tenet of our philosophy on nutrition, is like, we actually find it to be more important. I mean, I would never say just forget your fitness, but if you made me pick one, I'd say focus on your nutrition. I mean, you'll get way more out of that than just focusing on your fitness. And I try to remind people, let's say at the most you're working out, let's say an hour every day, let's say 6 days a week. That's only 6 hours of your week, as opposed to like, how many times are you eating?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the least, most people are eating at least 3 times a day, 7 days a week. That's 21 meals, and so, yeah, like she said, you can get way more when you focus on your nutrition as well. Now, having said that, if I can get you to eat well and work out, I mean, what an amazing duo. That's where we really see people just blossom, because they're coming at their health from, two of the most important aspects. And this is why fitness doesn't have to be this punishment or, this like horrid workout that you're dreading. It should be fun, and it should be doable. It should be sustainable, and it should be sustaining you in your everyday regular life. You know, this program is not for people who want to be competitive athletes. This is for someone who wants to be a mom who can pick up her kid, you know, a grandma who wants to be able to, you know, play with her grandchildren, you know, the CEO who just doesn't have time and just has 20 minutes in the morning. You know, this is for regular people who just want to do life better. So
yeah, you make such a good point that you can't out-train a bad diet. I always think of like if you run a 5K and you see all of the like donuts and pizza at the end of it and people are chowing down, you're like, dude, you only ran 3 miles. Like, come on, man. You did, you know, quote unquote, earn it. But I mean.
And you've hopefully been training for that to the point where like it's easy for your body probably at this point to run 3 miles. So.
Exactly. But yeah.
I think just getting away from the mentality of like earning, you know, your food. Like, well, don't earn your food. Like, go nourish yourself, and you know, allow yourself to eat what supports, I should say, your activity levels. You know, when you look at it that way, you just completely, you know, shift the mindset and allow your body to just find balance where it's at, rather than like, I want to train or eat for weight loss. Well, how about you train and, you know, eat for health and allow your weight to just find, you know, where it should be. Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's important to note that for Andrea and I, like, it never has been about the scale, and it never has been about like calories. Oh God, I hate calories. Like, not
right.
like
Preach right here with you.
Counting calories is like, no, we don't do that. It's not a thing, and it doesn't work. So yeah, that whole idea of like punishing yourself, although Andrea and I do like a rigorous workout, like when we work out together, we get kind of competitive, but that's besides the point. But yeah, the whole idea of like punishing yourself and like keeping yourself from having certain things, and, you know, just that mentality, it's kind of toxic, and we try really hard not to support that, and, you know, like, that's just not what our programming is about at all.
Yeah, it's like those, oh gosh, I don't know what you would call them, like memes or whatever, where it's like if you want 4 donuts, you have to spend like 4 hours on the treadmill or something like that. And it's like, no, guys, that's not so unhealthy.
Eat a donut.
Yeah, enjoy the heck out of it and move on.
Exactly. Like, you know, it's not going to kill you. No, lots of donuts.
Yes.
But yeah, I think, you know, that's part of, I think, your Restart instructor as well. Just the idea of helping people like reframe how they look at food, you know, and understanding that, well, yes, there are negative consequences. If you have a better mindset where you understand, okay, these will be the consequences, and you ask the question of whether it's worth it or not, you can make a much better, not only decision, but then move on from it and not be beating yourself up, or, you know, like we just had our a baby shower for her, and I had cookies, I had, what else? We had tacos. I mean, and I had no problems.
Oh yeah.
Eating it, and I loved it. I didn't feel great the next day, but I mean, that was totally worth, I mean, being with family and celebrating, you know, awesome occasions. So, you know, understanding that was totally appropriate and my decision, and, you know, and I didn't punish myself with another workout. I didn't actually work out the next day.
Yeah, you just move on. It's like, all right, cool. I did that. It happened, and I'll get back on track.
Yeah. You know.
Yes. I started to go into this, but I want to dive in a bit more. Who is the programming specifically for?
Okay, so like easily, I guess, or one word would be just like your everyday average person. We have people, we've got young people doing the programming. We've got new parents doing it. We've got, older people doing it, middle-aged. So really, I think I'll let you give your 2 cents, but I think anyone who just has a desire to be fit, that's not looking for extremes, that's looking for a program that's sustainable, and you can do it at home. You know, like we're really trying to like take away as many excuses as possible. You can do it at home. You need minimal space, minimal equipment. And we do all the programming. So we're going to do all the hard work of figuring out like what you should be doing and how to vary that for you. So yeah, just your everyday average person. I don't think there's a
Specific.
I don't know.
You pretty much described our client base. The only thing I would add is like, even if you've never stepped foot in a gym or have done anything athletic, like we spent hours and hours doing demo videos for each movement that we include in the workout. So if you don't know how to do something, you've never heard of what we're programming for that day, there's a video of us doing it with voiceovers, with instructions and tips on how to do that movement safely and effectively. So yeah, the programming, like she said, is for anybody short on time, short on equipment, and can do it at home even if you've never worked out a day in your life. So
That's awesome. Now, is it specifically for women, or can both men and women
Both men and
do
women.
it? Okay, cool.
I mean, we tend to attract women, I think, especially like stay-at-home moms. Like, I think that's just kind of the demographic that we know personally. So, but no, we do have some dads.
yeah, we have,
So
So all of our programming, it includes, both genders, and we have like anytime we program a movement that has a weight, we program or we give a suggested weight for a man and a woman for each level of our programming. So the beginner, intermediate, and the advanced.
Love it. And I like how you guys do the videos with the voiceovers, because I can't tell you. So I did an ultra marathon and had my coach, I had a couple of strength workouts every week. And there were times I'm like sitting there Googling in the gym, like, what in the heck does this mean?
exactly. And like, even when you do that, so I've done that too, when I'm trying to figure out what does this person want me to do? Like, how do I know I got the right video that they intended?
Oh, yeah.
Because there could be different variations, right? So we were really like, so like going back to, we almost bought a gym. We really love being with people. I mean, I think ideally having people with us is what we would want, especially as coaches. But, we saw a need in this area. And so we thought, well, let's just go for it and see, what we can do remotely. And so it was really important that we were able to say, okay, if we can't be there, let's do the next best thing, which is, demoing and talking over that. And we did some trial and error through the free couple months. Like we were doing written descriptions, and then we got feedback like, it's too much.
I don't read.
They would literally say, I don't read what you say. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
you.
that would be me. I'm sorry.
So that was great. I won't waste my time writing it, and like people were like, yeah, I would be way more interested in a video. So we use SugarWOD, which is a free app. And that's where we upload the videos, or the workouts, the videos, everything. So everything's packaged together, and you can see all three levels. And we actually call them, instead of like beginner, intermediate, we say fit, fitter, fittest.
Oh, I like it.
So some people don't like being called beginners, so that's fine. Like we were like, oh, this is even better. And then as you progress, you go from fit, fitter to fittest. And so right in there, you can see the workout. We have links right there to YouTube to see the demo videos. And then what I think is really nice and part of our philosophy is that you can submit your score. And then you can see other people's, and it's not necessarily to create competition, although, for some people like me, that is a driving factor. It's more like to say like, hey, Jenny, you did a great job, and like has this ability, you can fist pump each other to say, like, hey, you did a great job. And so that I really love, because I think creating a community, I think that's what we love the most about CrossFit was just like the community was amazing. And so we wanted to incorporate that, and we're like, how do you do that online? So trying to use this app where we're all kind of meeting and converging. And then, it's a way we love, I love tracking everything. So it's a way to track, your workouts. And then as coaches, I can see, and sometimes I'll go in there and be like, oh, like this person, like they took too long, or like, like we needed to like address this. And so I can talk to you through the app as well. So it's really nice to have these like touch points with people. So and it's free to
The user.
the user.
Now, what's this app called again?
Sugar WOD.
Sugar WOD. Okay. Like WOD.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
I was just like, why would you use the word sugar?
Right?
That's what I was like.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
It is a great app. No, we really love it. I mean, we looked at a lot of different apps out
Platforms.
there. Yeah, and this one just allowed us to do what we wanted. I was like, sugar.
Maybe it was like sugar daddy, kind of. I don't know. Either way.
Other thing.
Right. Okay, so then do people sign up by going to this app, or do they go, like, how do they sign up for the program?
So currently you go to our website. You'll actually sign up for it's a subscription. So it is a monthly fee, and that's because 5 days a week you're getting a brand new workout.
Yeah.
So it's not one of these like 6-week programs and then you just buy it from us once. Like, we are programming Monday through Friday for you. It's always different. So it's a subscription you do through the website, and then you'll go ahead, download the app, and we give you your access code. That's where you'll get an email from us. Here's the access code to actually get into our gym in Sugar WOD, and then you'll have access to it all. We also have a private Instagram. So I am super visual. Yeah, I think most people are, right?
Mhm.
So we'll actually, as well as, you have your app where you can see the workout, we'll create videos to kind of piece the workouts together. So because they're always different, like, we're super creative with how it's not just like, okay, do 5 sets of 3 of this and 3 sets of, no, we've got like a wide variety of like how the exercises will come together. So I create like a video kind of montage, I guess, where I'm saying, okay, we do 15 of this, 15 of that, then 3, or whatever, just to kind of help people understand, because sometimes it's not complicated, but it's just like,
It's just different, I think, than most training that people do. Like, it's like one of the types of workouts we do is like an AMRAP, which means as many reps or rounds as possible in a given time domain. And so you have to explain, like, you're going to do these 3 movements, this number of reps for each movement, and you're going to do that over and over until the time is up.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like maybe an EMOM, which is like every minute on the minute, you're doing this movement for this amount of time, and we want you to have a 15-second rest at the end. And then on the next minute, you'll do a different movement. So yeah, it's like hard to explain that. So it's easier for some people to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I remember the first time I read a workout that was an every minute on the minute, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, it was, I don't know what was so hard about it, but yeah, it was.
You've never.
Yeah, it's like, for 1 minute I do this? What? Like, oh my gosh, it was so funny, because I definitely could have used your program there.
So we have to remember that, like, because we came from a CrossFit background, we still love CrossFit. Those terms and phrases are so normal to us, but for the people that we're programming, they may have never heard it. So we have to remember that when we're creating the workouts and when we're explaining it in the app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, who's EMOM? Like, is that is that a new app? Character on Elsa? Like, who is this? No, I love everything that you guys are doing with your business, with the app, and everything, like with making it more of an accessible platform for people. Where do you see the business going in the future?
Hopefully big places. I mean, I mean, personally, I'm having a blast. One, I love fitness, obviously, and health. But I would love, of course, as more of the nutrition person, to bring more nutrition in. I'd love to do like challenges. Everybody loves to do a challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially, if we're pairing that with fitness. So I want to bring more nutrition challenges to the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's harder to do, when you're in an online community. So I think we're just trying to wrap our brains around how do we create that, where we're not actually seeing people and, make it fun and engaging still. So there's that. I'd also like to see, like, and this is because I enjoy strength pieces, is like, I think that some people might like that, you know, to have like, okay, well, most of the stuff is very fitnessy, very cardio type. Although we are asking you to use weight sometimes, so there is a little strength there, but just if you want to focus on certain strength aspects, I love to include that, or have a track, you know, maybe where you're going through a phase of like, yeah, I want to just focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I would like to see our community grow enough so that I mean, anybody can access our programming, but it would be nice to be able to every once in a while meet these people
Mm-hmm.
that are doing our programming, just, you know, so they can like put a face to the programming, and we can also probably do a workout with them somewhere and like go through some of the movements that they might be having trouble with. I don't know, I would like to make it more of a community thing, so like in person. And then ebooks.
Oh yeah, I'm just like loving ebooks right now. So we have a free ebook.
Yay.
Hey, so go to our website, and it's just 2 weeks of body weight movement workouts. So
Ooh.
yeah, anybody, you can use them anywhere. So I think one purpose was, you know, people are always asking for workouts, and so we wanted to kind of just put that together for people, and we were like, let's do it so there's no equipment, you know, so that you could literally do it anywhere. So if you're on vacation, great, we still got 2 weeks of workouts for you. If you're just, you know, starting out and you have no idea where to start, you don't want to go buy dumbbells or a jump rope, great, you know, you can do these workouts. If you're pregnant, if you're, you know, injured and you're just coming back, whatever. I mean, we really just were like, let's just put this like resource together for people. And I think too, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think it's kind of an insight into what our programming looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if, you know, you want to trial us out, you know, you can do that. I mean, obviously our workouts will include a little bit of equipment, but it's a great way to say like, okay, well, let me test out what they do. And we did all those workouts too. So they're good. So like, oh man, this is a bad one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I've done some of like the workouts that have kicked my butt the most have just been body weight workouts that were so simple. And you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot walk right. Or like when you have to put your hand down on the toilet first to like sit down.
You're like, oh my God, how do I wreck myself with like just myself?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to download that. And we'll have that linked up in the show notes. Now, talking about some fitness and everything that you guys are programming, what are some fitness trends that you are into right now?
So there's me that like just loves. Okay, so maybe it's an upholder thing. I don't know. I love tracking everything. I don't know if that's.
I think that's totally an upholder thing. That sounds miserable to me, but.
I'm going to lose half the audience.
But I could see obliger. So I'm part obliger too. And like when I had a coach, I would upload the workouts into Training Peaks because I liked seeing the green on there, and she would call me out if it was red. So, but it wasn't like I really cared about the data.
I see. So I love data. Like I'm a data nerd. Like, so for the last 6 months, I've actually been wearing a Whoop.
Okay.
Been testing that out. And then I also got an Aura ring. So I have 2 data trackers on me, fitness trackers. Well, really what I'm doing is I'm testing both of them. So both, I don't know if people know what they are, but they both kind of do the same thing. They are measuring your heart rate variability, which it's not like a Fitbit where they're counting steps, although this one does count your steps, but it's more the time between heartbeats. And so what they know is actually the higher your heart rate variability, the more ready your body is to take on stress. And so basically what they're both telling me is today, here's your readiness and whether you should push yourself, or today's probably a day to kind of back off. And so both of them kind of give different other, you know, like this one also takes like my temperature. What else? It does do.
And this is the ring for people who cannot see.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, no, that's okay.
So like with that, that's kind of nice. When my temperature starts getting like too high, it's like you're probably sick or like something's going on. So it's kind of nice to keep track of, because I really thought I was in tune with my body before. And, so I've been doing the Whoop for 6 months, and right away I realized that I do not capitalize on days where I'm fully ready. So I totally went into it thinking I was going to find out that I'm overtraining. No, I mean, there are days that I'm sure I do, but it was more like there were days where I was like in the green, and I would have not felt that I was actually really in a space to like push hard. And so I started using the data like to actually say, okay, I'm at 90% or 85%. I'm going to like push and see what happens. And sure enough, like I find like, wow, I did really well. And then when I was in the red, which I try not to get, there's red, yellow, green, I'd be like, oh yeah, that feels like I shouldn't be working out today, so kind of helped me really go, oh, I know what it feels like to be ready and what it feels like.
That's really interesting. Like the mindset piece, when somebody tells you you're in the green.
Yes.
I bet it gives you like,
oh yeah, I'm like, well, my ring said, or my, Whoop said that I'm ready. So yeah, I'm ready. And as a I'm like, well, I got to do it. Yeah. It's time, pedal to the metal. But it's just been interesting to like see that and actually gain that perspective. Because like I said, I really thought I was going to find that I was overtraining, but really I was just not pushing at the right times, And it also gave me as a perfectionist the okay to say like, I'm not okay to work out today. Like, nope, I didn't sleep. And it's tracking your sleep. So it's looking at not only how long, but, the quality of your sleep with that heart rate variability, your resting heart rate, as your resting heart rate begins to climb, we know that you're, in a stressed mode. And so it's looking at all these variables. And as the nerd, that's just fascinating, that, it really helped me. And I think has actually started to push my fitness, because I know days to let go and days not to. So
that is so interesting, because I know a couple of triathletes who are using the Whoop just to keep track of things, because I mean, especially I'm sure it goes across all endurance sports, but especially triathletes tend to not sleep and really overtrain. And it's been interesting to see how many of them have backed off, but their performance has improved because of knowing, like you said, when to push and when to be like, you know what, maybe I should just take a nap today.
Yeah. And like, I think for those A types, like it's hard to think that doing less is more, like finding that out. It really does work that way. So what I do like about Whoop is they have like what's called a sleep coach. So I can tell it, okay, I want to wake up at 6 a.m. And based on my readiness, it'll tell me, okay, well then you need to go to bed by this time in order to tomorrow. Or if I just want to get by. I don't know why. Just get by, but
right, they're like, you just want to be mediocre in life, here you go.
Mediocre day. I really like that about this, that I can, because as I think that mindset I have, like if you tell me like, Andrea, you really need to be in bed by 10:30, like okay, I'll do that. That's what I'll do. But because I can now connect that to like, I really want to work out tomorrow. Do well, or, I have like a long day at work, as a teacher and a PE teacher is pretty physically demanding. So, I got a long day tomorrow. We have an event, then I need to perform tomorrow. So, help me out. Like what time do I need to be in bed tonight? And so I love that. And what my ultimate goal is that I'd like to, put this information out to our members, like, hey, here's a way that you can kind of help yourself understand what's going on. And
yeah, because I mean, I think just like you said, how you thought you were in tune with your body, I feel like so many people do not have any clue what is going on.
And we know that, right? Even from food, like people don't understand how poorly they feel till we take out certain foods, and then they're like, oh my gosh, it was so much energy.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm not eating Hot Pockets every day and I feel great.
I'm burning my mouth.
Right. Oh my gosh. So speaking of Hot Pockets, I'll segue into the next question. What are some of your thoughts on the different nutrition trends that are going on right now? So like keto, paleo, low carb.
We get this quite a bit, because these are all like hot topics. So our premise is that whole foods are always going to be, the base of any diet. It's hard because, okay, I'll just say this. Everybody's different. Everybody is going to respond to these things very differently. Yes, people can be successful on keto. Yes, they can be successful on paleo, on low carb, even on high carb. I think
Jenny raised her hand for high carb.
Yes. I think what I love is that I like those three in particular are all based, for the most part, if you do it right, on whole foods, in a natural state. I think that what it opens up is an opportunity for people to say, let's experiment. Let me try out these things and see how they work for me. The thing is, like, as a nutrition coach, I can't tell you specifically, but I can walk you through. All right, let's try this, if that's what you want to do. And let's do it in an organized way where we can kind of track, your sleep, let's say, or just your energy levels, and see, is keto working for you? Is it working for you to do paleo, or do you need to include, some more sweet potatoes in your life? Always.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. So, all these things where I appreciate that they're coming from, I think a good place. I think people have to understand that, like, keto's not a one size fits all. And to be honest, I don't think it's great for every woman. I think women have the hardest time with it. I think it's great for men, but I don't want to make a blanket statement either. I think there are some women who do well, but you really got to be on top of, the stress you're putting on your body. Same with paleo. We've done all these things. We really got pushed into paleo for a while and
crashed and burned.
Yeah, crashed and burned because it was
interesting.
Very low carb with no real, I don't feel like I got good guidance in terms of, if I'm going to go that low carb, that I really need to uptake, good fats, or watch that my performance in the gym, number one, and my sleep weren't being severely affected. And they were, and there was no kind of how do I fix that? It was just I crashed and burned in the gym. I just remember wanting to cry because I had nothing in the tank, and specifically for me, and I think for her too, I need a little more carb, especially if I'm going to be active. So asking me to go, let's say keto or even paleo where it's super low carb is really hard on me. But that doesn't mean it's not for everyone.
Right.
You have to really, so like I said, I think it just opens the door to say try it out, but really track what's going on, because you might find a variation of it that works for you. And I can work with you too to help you do that or what, but you got to listen to yourself. So
I think the takeaway that we want people to find is that it's not about what you look like or the scale, regardless of what nutrition trend you're going to try out. We would want people to do it with the mindset and the goal of I want to feel good, rather than I want to look a certain way, because people get caught up with that and
keto for fat loss.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was just going to say. I feel like keto is the new hot trend to get abs or to lose weight. And it's no, guys, use it as a guideline to figure out what works for you, but don't do it just purely for the aesthetic of it.
No, because
it's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So we get that quite a bit, especially in my nutrition classes, and I'm everybody's different. I can't tell you, the only thing you'll know is you'll feel it.
Yeah. And to that point, when you said, you were crying and you couldn't sleep, I had the same experience with the first time that I did the Whole30. I was also training for triathlon and just, working out so much, but didn't have enough carb in there. And I would just sit at my desk crying if a workout didn't go as planned, and I couldn't sleep. It was terrible. Yeah. So
that's pretty hardcore. Anybody who likes to work out hard, so, we do like to work out hard, knows that there's a difference between I just have nothing in the tank versus like, I just need to, like, I have it. I just need to get out of the fact that this sucks right now.
Yep, exactly.
That was like totally different experience. Like, I was like, there is nothing.
Yes. And then especially as a type A, you're thinking, well, no, I have to get this workout in. You know, like my training peaks has to be green today.
If only I had the Whoop when I was doing that. I think
Exactly.
I would have been like, girl, it's not working.
That'd be awesome if the Whoop told you that, like,
It's just talk like
girlfriend.
that.
Nah.
Fail.
I love it, girls. Well, I could chat with you forever because we were just having so much fun, but I will wrap it up. But tell our listeners where they can find you.
Awesome. So we're on Instagram. So we still have our free page open, and we try to put out some content there, and we drop a few free workouts on there as well. So if you want to check it out, you can see our videos that we put out at Fit and Fueled Performance for Instagram. I have a separate one for my nutrition, so that's Eats by Dre Nutrition. Yes, I'm a 90s child. And then we have websites as well. So eatsbydre.com and then fitandfueledperformance.com.
Very cool. Well, thank you, girls, so much for being on. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.